Morning. Now here we are, Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. I'm Larissa. Mm. So last night, I had a dream. It was nice. I saw Miss Kitty Pants and Star Puff, the puffy cat. She's just puffy, she's not fat. It was so nice. Oh my goodness. I haven't seen Miss Kitty Pants in a dream. I've seen her in a dream 2 or 3 other times. Miss Kitty Pants. And Miss Kitty Pants was going on a car trip with me. I was sitting, or a road trip. I wasn't driving. I don't know who was driving. I was in a minivan, of all things. A minivan. I was sitting in the middle seat of the minivan. It was a full-size van because it had like 2 rows of seats behind me. And she was snuggled up next to me, and I was rubbing her cheeks, and she was looking at me and scratching her chin. Oh, she loved chin scratches so much. She'd stick her chin out, and you'd scratch her chin. She'd go, mm. She loved chin scratches. Scratchy, 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 scratchy. She loved it. She loved it. When she first came to live with us, her poor little chin, her little chinny, she had kitty acne on her chinny. We had to get that all cleared up. And she was just going to scratch her little zitty chin, her little zitty kitty chin. Got it all cleared up. Miss Kitty Pants, but her little face, her neck and everything was white. Her cheeks, one was orange, and the other one was she was a calico. She was a calico with little white socks and white on her belly. Miss Kitty Pants. Miss Cinnamon Pumpkin Kitty Pants. She got all the names. She came with the name Cinnamon. I didn't like it because I don't like cinnamon. Well, I don't like cinnamon by itself. I like it in other things. Cinnamon's not my favorite. But I didn't like it as a name for her. So she got all the names that we were throwing around. Hey there, mister. What were you barking at out there like a maniac? I thought maybe somebody was killing Daddy or killing you. You were barking like a maniac. Why were you barking like a maniac? Huh? Were you afraid somebody was going to come and kill Mommy? Don't be afraid of that. Yeah, so Kitty Pants, and we got out to give her kitty break and go so she could go poopy because we were in the van for a long time going somewhere. And at first we were going to take her and drop her off at a kennel somewhere, but I don't know who I was talking to because I never saw who it was that I was with. It was just I just knew I wasn't driving. And so oh, we got out like it was at a turnpike rest stop, and let her out in one of the median areas where there was grass. And when we took her out to go poopies in the median grass area, Star Puff was there too. She was in the van too. I took her out too. And we're Star Puff, the puffy cat. She's not puffy, she's just fat. Puff the magic kitty. Puff the magic kitty lived on the deck. Puffy cat. She was so sweet, that puffy cat. Well, she was sweet to people. She hated cats. But it was Puffy Cat. It was Puffy Cat, and not to be confused with Sean Puffy Combs. Not the same being at all. No. Star Puff the Puffy Cat was a special kitty. Oh my goodness, she was a special kitty. Such a special kitty. So they were both there, and they were walking around in the tall grass and rolling around, and Star Puff started eating grass. I'm like, Star Puff, quit eating the grass. You can eat the grass, you're going to throw up in the car. And she was like, meh, 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 meh. And Kitty Pants was like, meh. And she used to make that noise, Kitty Pants. She went, meh, meh. And she'd talk to you. She'd get all mad. Meh. So Kitty Pants and Star Puff, and I got them both. I picked them both up. I scruffed them and tucked them underneath my arms and got back in the van. And we got where we were going, and it was the house that lived in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. I don't know why I was going there. House that lived in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, except that the basement was all finished. It had carpeting. Well, it wasn't all finished. The basement was carpeted, and the walls some of them were covered with drywall. And when we lived there, it wasn't like that. It was just concrete floor. It was a big basement. It was concrete floor and concrete brick walls. And there was a sliding glass door to go outside, right? Because the back was open into the backyard. There was a big raised deck, big deck, great big deck my dad built. Anyway, that's where we were, in that basement. Kitty Pants, but she was all snuggly. I got to snuggle with Kitty Pants in my dream last night. It was so nice. I got to see my grandma and snuggle with Kitty Pants recently. Not bad. Yeah. So yesterday, I think I finished that painting. I think maybe I don't know. When I look at it today, I'll know better. Hey, I saw Kitty Pants in my dream last night. Kitty Pants and Star Puff.
Really?
Yeah, I got to snuggle with them both.
That's nice.
It was.
Did Brody come in and open the store?
Yeah, what the hell was he barking at like a maniac?
He was just barking because somebody was walking their dog down the street.
Which dog was it?
Not sure. I don't know. I didn't recognize.
What kind of dog was it?
Is it some kind of brown, medium-sized dog?
Not a husky?
What's a husky?
Ugh. Is it like brown and white?
I don't remember seeing white.
Oh, no white on it? I have no idea what the dog was then. It wasn't a bark that he knew that dog. It was a bark like, I want to kill you dog. He didn't like that dog.
Brody.
I thought somebody was trying to hurt you or was trying to hurt him. Like, he was that bark, it was an angry bark. He was like, fuck you. He was like, get out of here, dog. You're too close to my border.
Maybe it's maybe somebody staying in Airbnb.
I hate that Airbnb.
Assuming I don't even know if it.
She still lives up there because I saw her the other day. I saw her a couple weeks ago down at the mailbox.
He always runs up here when he hears me making the tea. He hears the thing. And then
I was asking him, I said, what are you doing barking like a maniac? He got all excited. He smiled and he wagged his tail. He's like, that's right, I'm a maniac. Brody.
Calm down.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I think I finished that painting, but I have to look at it again today and see, because I had to sit on the floor to finish it. I had to put it down on the floor because there's a lip on the bottom of my easel, and it makes it hard to get down to paint up to the edge of the canvas. So I had to take the painting off of the easel and put it on the floor so I could get up to the edge of the canvas. And I had to sit on the floor, and it hurt the way I had to sit to work on it because I had to sit like off the one. It was really uncomfortable. And so I don't know if I rushed it because I was uncomfortable. So I have to look at it and make sure it's finished. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the painting is beautiful. Got my skull. Fat girl Larissa. Fat girl Larissa. Yeah, so the painting is really deep, and the subtleness of the difference in tonal quality between the Davies gray and the Mars black is just enough. I was worried it wasn't going to be, but it is. It's just enough. I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna have to go back in on top of this? But I think even if I couldn't, or even if it wasn't, I couldn't go back in to the painting at this point without having to paint over the entire ocean, right? So, yeah, but it's just enough. It's just enough. It's just enough for the depth, right? Yeah. And the placement of the pigment on the canvas, I was very, very, very intentional about that. And the gradation, the slight value gradation between the lemon yellow light, the cadmium yellow medium, and the yellow ochre, right? It's also very subtle, but it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference because I was looking at it, I was like, oh, maybe I could have just gotten away with using the either the cadmium medium or the ochre. And I was like, no, 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 I couldn't, because the pigment saturation and the value of the color itself, uh, irregardless of how much it's mixed with the white, right? There's each pigment, each color has its own value weight in grayscale. Like if you were to turn it to black and white, so the weight of the ochre is heavy enough. It's heavy enough next to the medium, the cadmium medium, and the lemon yellow light. Oh my gosh, that lemon yellow light. That pigment is so hard to find now. That's an old one. I found it. It was a Winsor Newton. I don't even make it anymore. That lemon yellow light. Oh my gosh. So yeah. So I need to look at pigments today. I have a bunch of stuff I need to do, but I need to look at that painting with rested, fresh eyes and be critical with myself about, were you just being lazy? Were you being lazy because your leg hurt? Because your hip hurt? Because it hurt to sit on the floor like that? The way you had to sit on the floor, it hurt, right? Because it wasn't just like sitting. It wasn't like sitting, yoga seat. I had to be able to move and twist. And I did yoga first, which if I hadn't done the yoga beforehand, if I hadn't done yoga, I wouldn't have been able to sit and finish that painting. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I need to get some canvases. I need to get at least one canvas, right, for the next one. Oh, I got some supplies that showed up that I ordered. Thank goodness they showed up. Papers and Caran d'Ache and yeah, there's supposed to be some terp in there too. There's supposed to be some terp, which I need some terp. I like using traditional terp, but it's stinky and it's hard to find. It's hard to get real terp, but it's better. It is a superior product. It cleans the brushes, and you need far less, right? It takes a lot longer for it to become a saturated solution with a terp. The terp can take a lot more pigment solid. Yeah. Anyway, got my nails did yesterday. Ooh, I did. So I gave in and I went down to the cash only place, which I don't like going to cash only businesses. I don't like going to cash only businesses because it's too easy to cheat on your taxes. And if I have to pay my fucking taxes, so does everybody else. So, yeah, that's the way I feel about it. But the woman down there does silk. And my nails, I had my natural nails were all, like kind of an even length. And they were at the length where I knew that they were going to start peeling and breaking off and looking junky. So I wanted and the only reason they had stayed as long as they had, because I had put a nail hardener on them, which is just a pain in the ass. It's just like another step, and you gotta wait for it to dry because it's like a regular paint kind of thing. And I didn't want to have to keep doing that, like, because I have to put that on every day. So I got a silk wrap. And I got my nails. Right? Silk is so nice because it's natural, right? It doesn't look like big old fake nails, because it's not. It's my nail, just with a little piece of silk over the top, glued to the top of it. I don't know why, silk is so hard to find because it's harder to do. I did, at the beginning of the pandemic, I did a silk wrap for myself twice. And it's next to impossible to do for yourself. And it took me 5 hours because I ended up having to do one nail at a time. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I had to sit and wait for each nail to dry separately, right? And then file and buff it down. So I'd finish one nail at a time. Yeah, that's what I had to do for the silk to do silk wrap for myself. Oh my gosh, it's so difficult to do for yourself. And it's a little more challenging than doing acrylic. Acrylic is easy peasy. I've done acrylic for myself. That's not a big deal. It's not a big deal if you're doing acrylic for yourself. It's not a big deal. Anybody can do that. It just takes a little bit of practice, right? Do it a couple times and then you can do it. So, and acrylic is so bad. It's so bad. Anyway, silk wrap lasts longer. It lasts longer than acrylic. It doesn't lift the way acrylic lifts. Yeah, it's harder than acrylic. And it's nice and it's healthier on your nail. Like you can just use regular old nail polish remover to soak off the silk wrap, right? And your nail isn't all fucked up the way it is under acrylic, right? Because all it is silk and the nail glue. And the nail glue is a natural thing. It's made out of horse hooves and cow bones and sheep horns and stuff, right? That's what nail glue is made out of. That's what super glue is made out of. That's what glue is made out of. Boil it down. That's what that is. That's why it adheres to your nail, because it's made out of like same kind of base protein material. So silk wrap is natural. Yeah. They didn't know anything about the Vinylux. I had to tell them all about the Vinylux because I taken my Vinylux polish. And she puts a fan. I'm like, that's not going to dry that. I said, it's not going to do a damn thing. I said, use the gel light. You can put the light on. She's like, the light? And I said, yeah, it's going to be dry. She's like, it's going to be dry? I said, yeah. And she's like, you can take it off with nail polish remover? I said, yeah. I said, it's amazing. I said, it's just really expensive. It's like $13 a bottle or more. Some of the colors are more than others. Yeah, so I have 3 colors. I have the oxblood red, I have black, and I have like a champagne gold color. I had a couple other colors, but the Vinylux, the light activates it, and even through the bottle a little bit, right? So it eventually becomes like thick and chunky, right? Becomes thick and chunky. And I had gotten gray, and I didn't like the way the gray looked. No. I had what color it was called Silk Slip. It was like a natural peachy pinky color. It was nice, but it was all chunky. Yeah. Yeah, so the place I was going before, they were, the gal that was doing my nails, she was nice. But they didn't do silk there. So, I'll go to this place because they have a lady there that does silk. But I don't understand why women don't. It's a little bit more expensive, but it lasts longer. It looks nicer. It's more comfortable on your nail. It really is. I mean, when you put the acrylic on, that's like this hard plastic, and you put the hard plastic tip on there, and it's like your nail is forced to conform to the shape of the plastic. With the silk wraps right on the natural shape of your nail. Right? Yeah. It is superior. And the silk fiber is so strong. It's so thin and fine. Yeah. I have no idea why anybody would want anything other than silk. I don't know why anybody would want anything other than a silk wrap. If you're going to wear your nails long. If you wear your nails short, you don't need it. But if you're going to have any kind of length on your nails, and if your nails aren't hard, my nails have always been thin and bendy. Thin and bendy. They've always been that way. My Grandma Rose's nails were the same way. I don't have my Annie Mum Mum's nails. My Annie Mum Mum, she had some hard thick nails. She did. Whenever I wear red nail polish, I think about her because she had that story. She's in the Catholic school, right? She painted her nails red one time, and the nuns made her stay after school to wash chalkboards until the nail polish came off. She said she was down there. It was dark when sent her where what was it? She said her brother came down looking for her. Her brother came down and told the nun. My mother said, "I'm coming down here to take her home. That nail polish isn't going to wash off with soap and water." And then she said the nun got all angry, and he said, "My mother said not to listen to a damn thing you said." And he said, "Come on, Annie, let's go home." So her brother took her home because she wore red nail polish to school. Scandalous. Scandalous. They made her drop out of school, too, after she married my grandfather and got pregnant. They made her drop out of school. She never finished high school. My grandma. That painting. Anyway.